Live from the Quad Cities with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, painting a time capsule. There's a new mural in downtown Davenport highlighting the historic transportation history here in the Quad Cities. We'll learn more about the concept and meet the artist. A new locally produced movie set to debut this weekend in Muscatine. Meet the writer and director of the movie along with a familiar starring cast member ahead of the red carpet debut. And later, the Freight House Farmer Market Summer Market has winded down for the season, but there's still plenty of fun to be had in fall. We're previewing the Fall Harvest Festival happening this weekend. You're watching Quad Cities Live. It is Monday, October 28th. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Kyle Keel. Morgan has the afternoon off. We'll save the date. It Takes a Village Fall Pet Festival is set for November 15th through the 17th, a big fundraiser at Riverside Park in Muscatine. Here with the details is president and founder of It Takes a Village Animal Rescue and Resources, Megan Keeler, and she's joined by Kara Phelps, who's one of the volunteers handling our sweet adoptable pet of the week. Megan, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, talk about Sunshine. She's a little sweetie pie.
Yes, this is Sunshine. She's about 2.5 months old. She's a black lab mix. Her mom, Journey, was actually one of the 67 animals that we took out of that hoarding case over the summer. So her litter is now up for adoption,
that's
and
awesome.
She's available.
And it sounds like you're having a lot of success stories from many of those fosters who've taken on the 67 seized pets.
Absolutely. A lot of them are adopted out now. Now we're actually to the point where we're doing a big push on the domesticated rats that had come out of that home too.
Sure.
So most of the dogs have been adopted. The ones that had babies, that had been pregnant, those babies are just now getting up for adoption too. So.
All right. So you can obviously learn more about that on the website. But what you're here to talk about today is arguably the biggest fundraiser that you have at It Takes a Village. Is the Fall Pet Festival, and that's happening a little bit later next month. So this is kind of the biggest pet social in the state of Iowa. So this is a big deal.
It is. It's a huge deal. We're really excited. We started off on Friday night with a kickoff party. There's going to be a food truck battle, live music. Our craft bazaar is opening that night. So that'll be a really fun start to the weekend. And then Saturday we have the Village Pet Olympics.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a lot of like sport activities for dogs and cats. And you can either join in for the whole Olympic.
Yeah.
And then, be eligible to win the award, the prize at the end. Or you can just try out the different activities like agility or doggy dash, frisbee catch, things like that.
Yeah.
And the food is like the main event. Like that's what everybody's coming for.
I hear there's going to be some Iowa pork tenderloins.
Yes, there are. And they are giant.
Yes, I mean, nothing beats a giant Iowa pork tenderloin, that's for sure.
That's right.
So going back to the Pet Olympics, I mean, people can bring their dog, cat?
Yes. Yeah,
they can bring their cat to
we've got a
as
cat
well?
series too. We've got the Whisker Warriors, and we've got the Top Dog Challenge for the dogs. So
all right, so obviously a very important fundraiser for It Takes a Village, because you have a very important mission there in Muscatine. Talk about where some of this fundraising money is going to go.
So over the course of the year, you'll see us fundraise for specific medical cases or specific needs. And those do well.
Yeah.
But that does not cover the less attractive ways that we spend our money, which is our lease on our building, the roof over the head and the
stuff
salaries
that people
for
don't
the
think
staff.
about.
Exactly. So this is really, really crucial for our operating expenses for the course of the year.
All right, so we're talking about a lot of the events to go on. Obviously, it's centered around the pets, but there's a lot of family fun as well. There's kids' activities, games.
So Sunday is Family Day.
Yes.
Like it is. Our village mascot, who is new to It Takes a Village. His name is Vinny the Village Pup.
Vinny the Village Pup. We got to go see him.
Oh, yes. Sunday is Family Day, and we're celebrating his birthday. We will have cupcakes for the human attendees and dog treats for the dog and, pet attendees. So it's going to be awesome. There's face painting, games, crafts, you name it.
And when is this event again?
So that one is on Sunday. So that's the last day. We'll still have the challenges. It just won't be the Olympics portion on Sunday. That concludes on Saturday. But everybody can still bring their pets in and have them try out the different activities and sports. But then Sunday it's all about bringing those kids back in. We're going to have a junior trainer challenge, so kids can show off the tricks that their pets do, and it's going to be awesome.
All right, so you've got 3 days of jam-packed fun. Obviously, this is a big volunteer effort.
Yeah.
You were telling me before the show You need more volunteers.
We do.
So
we
how
need
can people get in
volunteers
contact
the day
with you
of
for
the
that?
event,
Okay.
even leading up to the event, set up, tear down, you name it. If you go onto our website, go to the event page, and it has a contact us. It's got our email address. It's got our phone number. If you are interested in volunteering for the event, it is greatly appreciated. We need all hands on deck.
And remind us of the dates.
November 15th through the 17th.
15th through the 17th, Friday through Sunday, big fundraiser there at Riverside Park in Muscatine. Also with Veterans Day right around the corner, you have a new, I guess, a returning program. It's the Veteran Support Program that you really wanted to highlight because it's an important program for our veterans.
Yes, it has been well funded for the last over a year, and now we're getting to the point where the large donations that we had that really carried us for that first year, those are exhausted. So we're ready to do another big push. What this program does is it allows us to waive adoption fees for those that have served in the military.
Sure.
This removes a barrier for them to get emotional support animals
Definitely.
or just pets. Like, we know the physiological benefit of pets. It lowers blood pressure. It, increases happiness. It's not just mental well-being, but very much physical well-being as well.
And I think people at home who have a dog, cat, any sort of pet knows kind of the way that they can take down the stress level and just bring that happiness. And just imagine those who may have a lot of trauma associated with their time overseas. This is a great program. So.
That is exactly why we started it.
All right, awesome. And so you wanted to highlight that your spay and neuter clinic is reopening, and you're hoping to take some appointments starting as early as next week.
Yep, we're hoping to start scheduling next week. We have one last final push for fundraising just to finish off the final construction needs of the space and get things up and running.
All right, and you're looking for a vet tech, right?
We do. We need a registered vet tech.
All right,
for
so
our
if you're
Tuesdays.
out there and you're available on Tuesdays, give Megan a call. And we were noticing on your Facebook page that there's been a lot of advertising of puppies that are up for adoption. Is this kind of a new trend to see the younger puppies up for adoption, such as Sunshine here?
We had, 5 of the dogs from that hoarding case they were pregnant.
Oh gosh.
So we've been buried in puppies basically nonstop for the last few months. But there's been a big push in Iowa cracking down on puppy mills and backyard breeders. So we've gotten a lot that way too. When these breeders agree to relinquish, it's all ages. And one of them recently, it had been a little Shih Tzu girl. We took her in to get her spayed. Actually, our friends over in Eldridge at the Scott County Animal Hospital, they did some pro bono. They had like free spay and neuters for us from that hoarding case and the breeder cases. One of them ended up being pregnant, so they closed her back up and sent her back to a foster home.
And I mean, that goes to show you the importance of clinics like the spay and neuter clinic that you have, and you're about to get up and running. So that certainly just highlights the importance of that. So It Takes a Village Animal Rescue is located in Muscatine at 1510 Grandview Avenue, Suite 1. If you'd like more information on adoptions or the upcoming reopening of the spay and neuter clinic, you can give them a call at the number on your screen, or you can visit the website, ittakesavillage.dog. Yes, .dog. Everyone processes grief in their own way, and the art of poetry can oftentimes be a way to navigate through that difficult journey. Narrating Grief Through Poetry is a workshop coming up led by Becky Nakashima-Brooke from Illuminate Healing Studio and Ryan Collins from the Midwest Writing Center. Becky and Ryan, welcome back. Thank you both for joining us today to talk about this very important workshop. And now it's coming up November 9th. From 10 a.m. until noon. So Becky, people who want to attend this event, what can they expect? Because obviously grief is a touchy subject for some.
Sure, so this is for anyone in the community. You do not have to be a poet. That's what Ryan's here for.
Yes, yes.
And so beginners can come, I would say probably any age, you know, because we all need to process grief for different reasons. And I think it will be a great event. It's something that I was thinking about because I've done grieving rituals and as an end-of-life doula, and just as my work at my studio of how can we process grief and how can we be supported.
And there's many different ways that you can do that, including poetry. So, Ryan, that's where you come in with the whole poetry aspect to this. So, talk more about poetry and just in itself as an art. It's an oral tradition. I mean, this dates back thousands of years.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people get a little nervous about poetry, or I don't know how to read it or anything. Hey, don't be. the point is to express. Like, I think people forget sometimes, like, the opposite of depression is not happiness, it's expression.
Sure, yeah.
And so I think the primary thing is just a way to express and try to find language for that, which is often difficult to express.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, having the musical component helps too. I'm also
Definitely.
a musician, and so kind of bringing, you know, using sound as a way to help, like, get to and open up and unlock language, especially around such a difficult subject, I think makes a lot of sense. And if you've never written poetry or anything like that, that's okay. If you know how to write, you're good. We'll help you from there. Yeah, it's going to be, it'll be good.
Well, I like how you pointed out that poetry is meant to express ourselves no matter what we're feeling, happiness, sadness, grief, all the like. So you said that we don't have to be a poet to get involved with this.
Not at all.
You have to know how to write. So is there sort of a process that we can learn poetry? Does it even need to be learned?
I think it needs to be felt, I think, more than it needs to be learned. I think thinking about it like homework is probably not a good way to do it. I wouldn't want to do that if I thought about it like
when
homework.
you're forced to do it, no one wants to do it.
Very much that. So no, I think we all have things that we would like to express, I think, and we maybe have difficulty doing that, and we maybe don't trust our own words to do that a lot. And what I would tell people is you should trust yourself and trust your language a little bit more. And I'm going to sound a little Obi-Wan Kenobi right now, but you should maybe trust your feelings a little bit and let the language kind of follow that, as opposed to trying to find the language to sort of like fit or play matchy-matchy with whatever you're trying to express or get through.
Yeah, it sounds like a good way to express yourself, that's for sure. So let's talk about the environment, because obviously when we want to relax and let the words flow, we want to relax the environment. So we're at Schuetzen Park in Davenport. So why this location specifically?
So I've spoken about it before. It's such a gem. It's a sweet little place. It's a public park on private property.
Okay.
And it's a lodge, which to me, like, being in a warm place with a cup of coffee or hot cocoa or hot cider and sitting with a group of people who are wanting to express themselves, I think will be great. So Schuetzen Park is, this little gem that not too many people know about, but it's a great place to be together. And then also, hopefully with the weather, we could maybe go outside for I've had sound baths outside.
That would be ideal,
Right?
Yes,
And there's even a fire pit there too. So
if it's too cold, we can just fire up the fire pit and just make it that much more relaxing. So you mentioned that you're an end-of-life doula. So how does this play part in the workshop?
Sure. So part of being an end-of-life doula is helping people work through those feelings and being there as a support. So one way that I do support people is with the sounds. So I have some of my instruments here today. But by, we've all heard like a good song, or we've been hummed to by our parents, or we find ourselves humming. So there's different ways where sound helps heal. So I'll be providing the sound healing portion part of it, and we will be doing a grieving ritual, which will help them. They can share if they want to any griefs that they're having, but it will at least create that circle and that space for them to feel safe and be able to express themselves.
And many times when you've been on the show, you've shown us your different instruments. So talk about some of the sound bath tools you brought with us today.
Sure. So this is a steel drum, and the nice thing about this is it has, deeper sounds.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can play it too. It has higher sounds.
Okay.
So if you want to kind of play with it. Oh, I need to get close. I forgot. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, the higher sounds.
Yeah.
So is this meant to soothe us? What kind of emotion is this supposed to invoke?
Sure. So as I try to read the room, and I'll be playing sounds to help lift and release some energy, release some of the grief, the emotions, help bring that to the surface, but then also help grounding.
Okay.
So this is called a Shruti box, and this is a very relaxing tone. It almost sounds like an organ.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it's a lot smaller than carrying an organ around with you.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, yeah, these are very soothing sounds to go along with poetry. So sounds like you have a good workshop ahead of you coming up in November. So the Navigating Grief Through Poetry workshop, it's set for Saturday, November 9th at Schuetzen Park in Davenport. If you want to register, be sure to visit mwcqc.org. Becky, Ryan, thank you so much for coming, and hopefully it's a good turnout, and it sounds like this could help a lot of people in the Quad Cities.
Thank you, Kyle.
Hopefully, yeah, thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. You will now find a piece of nostalgia painted on the giant wall along 5th Street in Davenport, stretching from Harrison to Ripley. The new historical mural highlights family-owned businesses featured in downtown Davenport in the early 1900s. Here to tell us more about the initiative is Rob Wolf with the American Pickers and muralist Atlanta Dawn with ATLD Murals. Rob, Atlanta, welcome back to the show. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So, Rob, this was kind of your brainchild, and you really wanted to highlight the businesses of downtown Davenport, but mainly the transportation industry in the early 1900s.
I mean, when I was a kid, I used to drive downtown. My mom would never know where I was, but I'd be on my BMX bike, and I'd always go to Carl Cleve & Son and look in the window. And that railroad wall that has been down there, I mean, I'm 58 now, so when I was 10 years old, I was looking at that railroad wall. And when I bought the building, I had to continue to look at that wall, and I thought, wow, what a perfect place to showcase the history of the transportation that actually built the town up.
Yeah.
So that's actually what we're doing. We're, trying to showcase all the businesses and the transportation history, going all the way back to bicycles and the wagon companies that were here.
Yeah, so you've had a lot of community support with this project, and you run on Atlanta to paint the mural in Atlanta. We featured all of your beautiful artwork here on the show before. You've done a live painting for us. So what's it been like to work on this project? Because you're taking these photos, these old photos of these buildings and these old vehicles, and transcribing it on your mural. So what's it been like to do this?
Yeah, I've done a couple murals like this before, so it's not anything new.
Yeah.
The surface is a little rough, so I'm using spray, and it's just one of those trust the process kind of things.
So yeah, talk about your process a little bit, because I can imagine that depending on your canvas and your tools you use, the process on creating these marvelous masterpieces are a bit different.
Yeah, I blow the artwork up like I would any of my mural projects, and you hit the darks, midtones, lights, and then the details, and it all comes together, and you move on to the next part.
All right, so this is obviously kind of a history project. So talk about the research that's gone into this, of what you wanted to incorporate in this mural and bring it to life.
Well, when I started, I kind of brought this up to Ken Dahl because his company was downtown. They actually had 2 locations downtown. That's where they started. 5th generation Ford dealer here in the Quad Cities, and he helped me a little bit, and he actually gave me a disk drive of 36 different companies that were downtown.
Wow.
So then I kind of went through those, and then I started doing more research because I had to go back to the early 1900s and the 1800s to figure out where the wagon companies were and who was actually supplying everything that was downtown, because they had to be parts organizations. There were motorcycle companies down there. There was a Victor bicycle dealer down there. So, the whole, the mural, when it's done, it won't go in sequence, but we're trying to get a pretty good job of going in some type of sequence of what was going on from the 1800s all the way to about 1950, 1960.
So this project is far from complete.
No.
It already looks great, the part that's been done, but there's still some work to do headed in the new year.
Yeah, I think between Atlanta getting things done and when we're getting into the cold season, so she might be able to start back up in April or May, and then hopefully, my goal was to have it done by Bix.
Oh, by Bix, that would be the perfect time.
I think that's a good goal.
Yeah.
You think you can do it? You're up for the challenge?
I'm up for the challenge.
All right, so Atlanta, I have to ask you, Atlanta and I go way back. You're a Quad City native like myself. So what does it feel like to be part of doing something for your hometown, for your home cities like this?
Just the murals in general, it's such a gift to my community. I get to live in my passion and what I love to do. I absolutely love it. And just to create something that is here that's going to last maybe longer than myself. So I'm leaving my mark on my home.
Yeah, and Rob, you said you like to challenge her, and she's always up for the challenge, right?
Yeah, she tends to take every challenge I throw at her, and honestly in a good way, because she knocks it out of the park on everything that she's ever done or touched with the things that she's done for us.
Sure. So I know you were looking for people to reach out to you or Atlanta about any knowledge that they might have about downtown Davenport and the transportation industry in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Are you still looking for that input?
I think that, you know, definitely the one Atlanta's working on right now is the Packard dealership that actually sat next to my building on 5th Street. And I couldn't find any information on that. And Ken Dahl actually talked to the great-grandson who's 75 years old.
Wow.
So he actually gave us some information on it. We still couldn't find a lot of photos, but anybody that has information that has anything that was downtown transportation, whether it was a wagon, whether it was tractor, it could be car, any of those things, motorcycle, please reach out to us. You know, we want to include it anywhere on these walls, and I think that's the big thing, is that the wall will showcase everything, and I think the community will stand behind this thing when they see it all finished. They're really going to love what they see versus a just concrete wall.
I would agree. Like I said, there's been a lot of buzz about this online. So Atlanta, what's it been like? Have people been reacting to the work that you've done so far, you being down there painting it? What's the reaction been like?
From everyone driving by, they're giving me lots of thumbs ups, lots of
awesome.
honks. They're like, it looks amazing. So it's been very positive.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm no art expert, but is this considered a grayscale project?
The section with the photograph is grayscale.
Okay.
Like monochromatic.
Yeah.
We're going to also add some like yellow tones and saturated colors throughout, and so it won't all be gray.
Okay, so do you like doing the grayscale?
I do, actually. I think it's a fun challenge.
Because I know you've done at least a couple of projects that are grayscale now. They all turn out great.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you would like to check out the work done by Atlanta Dawn and check out the services that she offers, you can visit her website, atlantadawn.com. And if you want to keep up with her progress with the Downtown Davenport Historical Mural, highlighting the transportation industry in downtown Davenport, you can visit her Facebook page. That's ATLD Murals, Atlanta. And Rob, thank you so much for highlighting the importance of the transportation industry here in downtown Davenport.
And history.
And history. History, that's for sure. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I live here. My name's Vivian Bourne. I carry a tote.
You've dealt with Mrs. Bourne before?
Oh, yes.
So you know what you're in for.
Roger that.
Also, I own and operate the Trash and Treasures antique shop with my daughter Brandy here in Serenity.
Love her.
Can't have you in here while the crime scene is being processed and while a key piece of evidence is being removed.
He means Louise's corpse.
Couple familiar faces there. Those are clips from Death by Fruitcake. It's a new film based on the award-winning Trash and Treasures Antiques mystery series by Barbara and Max Allen Collins. Max Allen Collins is joining us now along with one of the starring actors. You recognize her, our own TV6 family member, Paula Sands.
Hi, Kyle.
Hello.
Hi.
How does it feel to be on the couch?
Hello, Quad Cities. This is a nice couch.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Well, what do you think, Max? Max was on the show a lot of times.
I've heard, yes,
back
I've heard.
When this show was called something else.
Yes. Yeah, Paula Sands Live.
Yes,
like
that's
that.
it. So here we are, a different
Here you
role,
are.
Kyle.
Actress.
Yeah.
And a good one.
Yes, that's what I hear.
Really good.
You have to say that because you cast me in this and you got me into this.
Well, listen, it could have been, you know, it could have been a risk because you're a broadcaster.
Yeah.
You know, who's to say you're a good actress? And then the very first scene we shot with her, she nailed it. And I like, we're okay. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
So when you were going to take this to a film, you had Paula right away as the idea for one of your leads.
Well, yeah, we did the series, my wife Barbara and I.
Yeah.
I read all of
new
these.
one.
I read all of these books, and Max and Barb were on the show many times, and I always told you what a fan I was of those stories. And now I get to star in one of the leads.
Yes.
Immediately, it occurred to me and that you'd be perfect. And as I was mentioning to you, I said to Barb, if we could only get Paula to do this, he said, she'll never do that. She doesn't have time. She's got plenty to do. The next day, her retirement was announced. And I thought,
is that right?
Yes.
Is that the way that went?
Yes. And I thought, okay.
The stars aligned.
It was meant to be. This is the character I play, or one of her.
Yeah, Vivian Bourne. Okay.
Yes, Vivian Bourne.
Tell us about Vivian.
Well, she's a director and a writer of these shows, these community theater shows that she does in her little town of Serenity, Iowa.
Okay.
And she casts herself as the lead in all of the shows, and this is the Wicked version. There are a couple others.
But not this time. She didn't cast herself this time.
She didn't. No. She cast her nemesis from high school in the show.
Her rival in dramatics.
Should we say what happens to her?
Well, first of all, she went on to be a big soap opera star and so on.
This friend of mine in high school.
Right, and so she comes back and she's difficult. And there are let's just say that when something bad happens to her, there are many suspects. And Vivian and her daughter Brandy, played by Elizabeth Von Presley, the amazing.
I love my daughter Elizabeth. Yes.
They're amateur sleuths in the small town of Serenity, Iowa.
Okay.
And Elizabeth is quite remarkable too.
She really is. She is a superstar, by the way, Elizabeth Von Presley. And all these other folks we're seeing in this clip, I tell you what, they are all so, the atmosphere on that set, Kyle, was so kind and supportive. And there's Elizabeth, who we were just talking about. And so this gal, well, I guess we could say she passes away.
She does. It happens in the first reel.
She drops dead right on stage after taking a bite of the fruitcake.
Delicious fruitcake.
The prop fruitcake in this show. And then who done it? Who done it? We have to figure that out.
So that's kind of the storyline, is trying to figure out who put this fruitcake there and poisoned it?
Yes.
Where can they see this, Kyle?
They can see this in Muscatine, right?
To start.
Starting in Muscatine.
I have to say, we did a Christmas movie last year that has just been released on Blu-ray and DVD, this Blue Christmas, which we had a premiere in Muscatine, also at the Last Picture House. We showed it.
Good theater.
And we had such good response that we thought, well, we better have a follow-up ready. And so this will not be in theaters and on physical media and streaming for a year. Because this is for Christmas season 2025. So if you want to see this, want to get an advance look at it, we're doing it twice in Muscatine, and I think we're going to be doing it at the Last Picture House. We haven't got the date nailed down yet, but they've been very supportive.
Yeah, they
and I've
definitely
just put them on the spot terribly. So.
Well, I think Paula did that as well. Or maybe she told us that behind the scenes one time. I'm not sure. But Last Picture House. They're coming for you.
We're waiting for that. That was our very first table read. In Chad's basement there, and when I got to meet all my fellow actors on the show, what a crew! I mean, we did this. Kyle, we shot this. I mean, it was intense. For 10-hour days for 2 weeks.
Right.
In Muscatine.
New Era Playhouse. It's a church that has a playhouse, and they do at least one production every year, and so I like to find a location we can use, and we were there the whole time.
We were.
We did some stuff in an antique shop in Muscatine.
Yeah, right.
Because the girls, in addition to being sleuths, are antiquers. That's why this book is called Antique Sleigh Bells.
Antique Sleigh Bells.
If I hawked enough stuff yet, Paula?
You're famous for that. Good job.
I mean, it's part of a big series. What, a dozen books in the series?
Oh, yeah. Barbara and I have been doing this for 20 years, and I think this is our 19th book or 20th book.
They're so fun.
She's working on one right now, and then I do my pass. She does her pass, and I do my pass.
Is it mainly Barb?
It's mainly Barb. It's mainly Barb.
Yeah.
She's, I'm the little man behind the big woman.
Man. Kyle, did you have a chance to see any of those clips that we sent over?
Yeah, I did. I saw the trailer of it.
I have some. He wrote some, and Barb wrote some funny things for me to say. It's really weird to read somebody else's script like that.
I'm sure. And what was very weird for me is to watch the trailer and see you pop up as Vivian Bourne. But all I can see is Paula Sands.
I know. Well,
the woman I grew up watching on TV. So what was it like taking on this role of this character? Because it's much different than doing Paula Sands live in the 6 o'clock news every day.
It was an adventure, although I got to cut loose. I think you only held me back once.
She's a great comic actress, a great comedian, and it's real tricky because Vivian doesn't know she's funny.
No, you're right. She's eccentric, and just the things that come out of her mouth.
She's hilarious.
She's a little full of herself, but this is sounding more like me. It's like, what? It's supposed to be a character. Yeah.
Kyla was always based on Paula.
Hey, stop it.
The secret's out, based on Paula Sands. That's why she was perfect for the role.
But I was the senior member of the cast, so that was everyone was so kind.
But we have so many terrific people from this part of the world.
Yes.
I was going to say, are they all local or regional?
Really, they're all local. We have Elizabeth from Cedar Rapids and Rob Merritt from Cedar Rapids.
Rob is also
and we have
brilliant.
people from Circa 21, and of course we have our Chad Bishop, who was cinematographer and the editor and chief bottle washer, I guess, everything. And very small crew. You must have been astonished by how small the crew was.
It was small, but I liked that intimacy because I would be much more nervous if there were a lot of people around.
Oh, sure.
But I have not seen the finished product.
Okay.
And
we had to edit her out. She hasn't faced that yet.
Hey, I thought I was in a movie.
Well, I mean, the premiere...
And without Paula, it's about 12 minutes long.
Well, there you go. Paula's got a big role in this movie, so you can catch the premiere this Friday and Saturday at the Freedley Theaters. Freedley?
Freedley Theaters
Freedley
at
Theaters.
Palms.
Okay.
And Paula's going to be there both nights.
Red carpet premiere.
Rob Merritt, the co-star, will be there Friday night, and Elizabeth Von Presley on Saturday night.
All right.
And then,
and all of the rest of us will be there too.
And then later in other locations.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so stand by for that.
Coming soon, like they say in the movie trailers.
Yes.
All right, well, you can get the tickets on the website. Paula, Max, it was
that
a
first
pleasure
night
today.
is getting almost sold out. So
that's this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
It's a
you,
pleasure.
Max.
Yes, you guys were great.
Max.
Thank you so much. Well, you can celebrate fall this coming weekend at the Freight House Farmers Market along the Davenport Riverfront, as it's the annual family-friendly event with a lot to see and do. So here with the details is Missy Carter. She's operations manager of the Freight House Farmers Market. Fall Harvest Festival.
Yes.
It's here again already.
Here again. It came very quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure everything comes very quickly for you there at the Freight House. So it's this Friday and Saturday, or I'm sorry, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Should have fall-like weather. Might rain a little bit, but don't let that deter you from coming out because you have a lot of family-friendly activities.
We do. We're going to have, along with we'll have over 90 vendors represented.
90, wow.
Yeah, it's grown exponentially year after year. So we're really excited that we have some new vendors coming in that have never been part of the farmers market before, part of our crowd. So a couple new boutiques that are going to come drop in, along with a lot of the tried and true vendors that we're going to miss after this weekend that we won't see until May. But yeah, face painting. We're going to have the petting zoo on Saturday. We'll have a small hay bale maze for the kids. We're going to have some activities. Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, so we've got several vendors that you've chosen to share with us today, and one that has really caught probably everyone's eye when we first came on the air here is this Snoop Dogg jean jacket. Of course, you can catch Snoop Dogg on The Voice now, right here on TV6, but who is this by?
So that is Just Beachy Home Plus. So they do a lot of upcycle. They upcycle furniture, they upcycle clothes, and this is one of the pieces that she has made that I had to snag up for my personal collection. I did get that as a birthday gift, so I was pretty excited when I got that. So that's out of my closet. But yeah, Just Beachy Home, they're going to be one of our vendors.
All right, so you've got several other things. Looks like a basket maker.
That is Mama Sonia, so Taranga House. A lot of people know Mama Sonia for her incense. She makes different incense. She has a lot of sustainable items, free trade items. She supports her family back in Senegal.
Oh, that's great.
With being part of the market. So we love having her. She's one of our staple vendors at the market. And, you know, just kind of going through, we have a lot of indoor vendors represented here. We're going to have cookies and breads and obviously the fall vegetables. There's going to be the, you know, pumpkins and gourds and all of the fun fall veggies, those staples, the onions, potatoes. There's going to be a lot of that there too.
All that good stuff. So this obviously is a little bit different from the summertime farmers market.
It is. So our hours are a little bit different. So Saturday, the indoor market's still going to open at 8 a.m. just for those regulars that come in and you know get their staple items there. But the festival outside doesn't open until 10 a.m. So it's 10 to 4 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday. There is going to be live music curated by Common Chord.
Oh, that's great.
Some of the acts are Lexi Healy, Band Acoustic, Totes Magoats is going to be there, Lucy Marshall, Douglas and Tucker, and the Guests of Honor.
The Guests of Honor, all right. So grateful to have the support from Common Chord here at this festival as well. So we mentioned, the outdoor farmers market wrapped up this past weekend. Obviously, a lot of people are sad to see that go because, that means that the cold weather's coming, but we can still support many vendors because you've got the indoor farmers market that is year-round.
Our indoor market is year-round, so we have upwards, during the winter months, we have upwards of about 25 vendors represented indoors. Some of them have their own booths in there. Others are represented in the market-to-go area. Some of that, like we have Meatheads here with their brats. They're going to be year-round. They're in the freezer in the corner of market-to-go. Out on a limb, Pie Company, she's a summer vendor. She'll be here this weekend, but she also is represented year-round. Moe's Bites, I don't know who knows Asisa, but she has amazing samosas. Those are available in the freezer year-round as well. So year-round Saturdays 8 to 2, Sundays 10 to 2.
Okay, awesome. Well, sounds like you have a lot of fun. Rain or shine here this weekend from 10 to 4, both Saturday and Sunday. Come support everyone down there at the farmers market, especially those who take the time to be there year-round in the indoor one as well. So again, the Harvest Festival is this Saturday and Sunday, November 1st and 2nd, or is it the 2nd and the 3rd? There we go.
2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be the free face painting for the kids, a petting zoo, live music, and plenty of vendors, more than 90. So let's talk about that because that 90 really popped out at me. So that's a lot more than last year, right?
Yeah, last year outdoors we had about approximately 50. This year outdoors we're upwards of 75, and then we have the vendors that are indoor as well. And it's always free admission.
Yes.
The music is free, the petting zoo, free admission to the petting zoo, free face painting. There's going to be free activities for the kids. So yeah, it's just kind of a nice, you can spend $0, come spend the day, listen to some music, or you can come help support local, which we appreciate.
A lot of local talent down there in downtown Davenport. All right, well, thank you so much, and thank you for watching Quad Cities Live. Your local news at 4 up next. Have a great day.